Hi, my name's Alex, and I'd like to talk for a minute about cringe. Yeah, I know even talking about cringe is probably cringe, but I have come to kind of speculate that there is a intentional, I don't know, you can call it a conspiracy if you want, but I think there is an intentional, directed kind of thing to berate people for doing anything outside of like what is considered like the norm, and that norm might kind of shift in the near future, I feel like, because to me, like, I don't know, I remember certainly when I was younger, I'm in my 40s, so I understand that I might be cringe talking about this, but it seems to me like, yeah, I was certainly embarrassed by doing stupid things, or poorly dancing, or overly enthusiastic about whatever people think is cringe these days. I'm certainly guilty of, again, probably right even now, but that being said, like, this cringe culture kind of thing, it seems like it's trying to get us all to act the same way, or not take any chances, or not take any, like, not and be worried about overly expressing ourselves, such that we're all going to end up being like these very contained and reserved, and just non-expressive people, because out of fear of being cringe, or you know uh embarrassed. I mean, what is the big problem with, embarrassment is kind of how we learn things, or maybe we learn that the people around us suck. I don't know, it can definitely inform us of things, but I don't really think that it's very useful in this context of just calling anything cringe that you think is just a little bit uncomfortable or whatever, or being worried. That's ultimately what it is. It's the worry, it's the self-policing, if you will, of behavior out of worry of embarrassment or cringe, because we can now define cringe as all of these things that are basically uh expressing yourself, right? Being unique, being an individual. If all of those things are cringe, then we might as well all be the same thing, right? We're not ants, right? We have individual characteristics, and if those are all going to be cringe, well, I guess I'm fine with being cringe, but I just worry that we're all going to end up a bunch of drones, because we're so worried about being cringe or awkward or whatever, that we just won't do anything anymore. We'll just do the bare minimum to survive. And because we're worried about the possibility that some people somewhere else, or even in the same room, some people that we don't even really care about or whatever, are going to think that we're stupid, or they're going to maybe laugh later with their friends about something that I did, or something that you did, or whatever. Like, sure, that's embarrassing and it sucks. It's just not a reason to change your behavior, right? That's kind of the ultimate thing I'm trying to get at here, is that it's worrying about being cringe is not a good enough reason to not express yourself, or be enthusiastic about something, or take a chance, or try to dance with someone. It's just, what I see happening now is people self-policing their behavior out of worry of being cringe, when in reality it's just making us all act the same. And whoever comes up with whatever the normal thing that isn't cringe is, well, that person is now the arbiter of anything like normal, right? I That doesn't do it for me, and I hope anyone watching this does not does not contain themselves under this thing of what is normal behavior. And I just worry that people won't be themselves, and will be what they think society expects of them. And I know that's always been a problem, but it seems especially pertinent to right now, because we have the internet, and so you can go online and see a million examples of things that people think are cringe, but it's very subjective. What you might think is cringe is different from what I might think is cringe. So let's just be nicer to each other, and not just be so worried about stepping outside of this imaginary boundary that we think we have or whatever. So